What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel, and buckle up because today's story is absolutely insane. This one has Cowboys Nation going crazy and Raiders fans holding their breath. We're talking about one of the biggest stories to drop this NFL season, the rumor that Las Vegas Raiders superstar pass rusher Maxx Crosby could be on his way to America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, and the jaw-dropping comment he made that's sending shockwaves through the league. Yes, you heard that right. Maxx Crosby, one of the most dominant defensive players in the NFL, might have just hinted at the idea of signing with the Dallas Cowboys, and it's got everyone asking the same question. Is this really happening, or is this just another round of NFL rumor madness before the trade deadline? Before we dive in, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop a like if you bleed Cowboys blue, because this one's going to be wild. Now, let's start from the top, because to understand what's going on right now, you've got to know who Maxx Crosby is and why this story is so explosive. Crosby has been the heart and soul of the Raiders' defense since being drafted back in 2019 out of Eastern Michigan. This guy came into the league as a fourth-round pick, a chip on his shoulder, nothing guaranteed, and from day one he's been a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. We're talking relentless motor, elite handwork, and that kind of leadership you can't coach. Over the years, he's turned himself into a two-time Pro Bowler, one of the league's most consistent sack artists, and the face of the Raiders' defense. The man plays with emotion, with grit, and with that kind of all-gas, no-breaks mentality that makes him one of the most respected defensive ends in football. But despite all that loyalty and production, there's been a growing storm in Las Vegas, one that's been brewing for months. The Raiders are in a weird spot right now. They've had talent, they've had moments, but they just can't seem to string together consistent success. They've changed coaches, quarterbacks, and philosophies, and yet somehow they're still floating in mediocrity, trying to find their identity. And you can see that frustration in Crosby. This man wants to win. He's made it crystal clear multiple times that he's not here to rebuild, he's here to compete for championships. That's his DNA. He's tired of losing seasons, tired of starting over, tired of being part of a next-year team. And that's where the drama really started to heat up. In a recent interview, when asked about his future and whether he saw himself staying with the Raiders through another potential rebuild, Crosby said something that made fans' jaws drop. "I'm not here to rebuild. I'm here to win. Wherever I'm going to be there to win." Now, on the surface, that sounds like your standard athlete answer: competitive, confident, focused. But when you put that in the context of the Raiders' current struggles and the rumors swirling around the Cowboys needing a superstar edge rusher after losing Micah Parsons earlier this year, that one quote took on a whole new meaning. Cowboys insiders jumped on it immediately, reading between the lines and saying, "Wait a minute, is Crosby hinting that he's open to a move? Is he sending a message to contenders like Dallas?" And that's where things exploded. Reports started flying that the Cowboys front office had at least inquired about Crosby's availability, that they had reached out to gauge what it would take to bring him to Dallas. Now, officially, both teams are denying any ongoing talks. The Raiders have reportedly told Crosby flat out, "We're not shopping you, we're not trading you, you're our guy." But when has that ever stopped the NFL rumor machine? Cowboys fans immediately lit up social media, posting photoshopped images of Crosby in the iconic star helmet, saying things like, "Imagine Max and DeMarcus Lawrence on the same line." Or "That would be the scariest defense in the NFC." And honestly, they're not wrong. If the Cowboys somehow pulled this off, it would completely reshape their defensive identity overnight. They've got a solid foundation, but they need that next superstar to fill the gap left behind when Parsons left town. Crosby would bring that fire, that edge, that relentless energy that defines championship defenses. But here's the thing: Crosby's comment about "wherever I'm going to be there to win" is also layered with something deeper. It's not just about his personal ambition, it's also about his loyalty. The man has said multiple times that he loves the Raiders organization, that they took a chance on him, that he wants to bring a Super Bowl to Vegas. He's emotional about it. He wears that pride on his sleeve. So, is he hinting at leaving, or is he challenging the Raiders to step up? That's where fans are divided. Some think this is him putting pressure on the Raiders front office, a way of saying build around me or I'll find somewhere that will. Others think it's pure frustration boiling over after years of falling short, especially now that he's one of the few bright spots left on a team that keeps hitting reset. Either way, Dallas is watching closely. Jerry Jones has always been about making splash moves, the kind that make headlines and shake up the league. Remember when he traded for Amari Cooper? When he signed Deion Sanders back in the day? Jones loves a good show, and a Maxx Crosby trade would be just at the kind of blockbuster that dominates sports talk for weeks. And here's what makes this rumor even juicier: the Cowboys are built to win right now. Dak Prescott has weapons, CeeDee Lamb is in his prime, the offensive line is still strong, and the defense, even without Parsons, has the pieces to compete. Add a player like Crosby, and suddenly you're looking at a defense that can terrorize any quarterback in the NFC. The match just makes sense: a defensive juggernaut joining one of the most storied franchises in football. But let's be real, trades like this don't just happen overnight. Crosby is on a massive contract, worth over $100 million, with most of it guaranteed. The Raiders would take a massive cap hit if they moved him, and they'd be giving up their most marketable star. Dallas would have to give up serious draft capital, probably a first-round pick and maybe more. And the Cowboys' cap space isn't exactly overflowing right now. So if they really wanted to make this happen, they'd have to restructure deals, maybe move other players, and commit long-term to Crosby. But let's play the what-if game for a second, because that's what makes this story so fun. What if Jerry Jones picks up the phone tomorrow and says, "What's your price?" What if Crosby, deep down, feels that the Raiders' window has closed and he wants a real shot at a ring? What if this comment about being there to win was his way of saying, "I'm open to whatever it takes to get that done"? Can you imagine the energy of Cowboys Stadium with Crosby coming off the edge, the crowd roaring, the star on his helmet glinting under the lights? That's the kind of vision that makes fans dream, and it's exactly the kind of dream that Jerry Jones has built his career chasing. And the timing couldn't be more perfect for speculation like this. The trade deadline is right around the corner, and every insider is on high alert. Teams are calling, general managers are negotiating behind closed doors, and rumors are leaking out every few hours. In the middle of all that chaos, Crosby's name keeps popping up. That's not an accident. Sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. Now, let's not forget the other side of this, the human element. Crosby's journey hasn't been easy. He's been open about his battles with addiction and how football literally saved his life. He's used his platform to inspire others, to talk about discipline, accountability, and mental toughness. He's not the type of player who takes commitments lightly. That's why these rumors hit differently. The NFL is unpredictable, and sometimes the biggest moves come when you least expect them. Whether Crosby stays a Raider or one day dons that Cowboys star, one thing's for sure: he's a player built for greatness, and his words have already lit a fire under two of the biggest fan bases in football. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't yet, and turn on notifications because we're covering every twist and turn of this wild saga. Until next time, this has been your Cowboys update of the week. Stay hyped, stay hopeful, and never stop believing, because in the NFL, the impossible is always